What's going on, folks? So, Questbound are back with a new single here. This one is called Call of Celestria. Now, buckle up, folks. This bad boy here is clocking in at almost 11 minutes, so we're in for the long haul. Questbound are trying to help me get my cardio in for the day, clearly. So, anywho, yeah, I mean, it's Questbound. This is their third single. I'm really excited, really excited. And so, yeah, here we go. I reckon this is going to be quite the journey. So, Rangers, go.
Starlight fades into the dawn, a land of legends where our myths are drawn. Through darkness comes a voice so pure, so divine. The warriors rise, rising from the endless sky. Hold the darkness now.
Wow. So, well, first and foremost, I always respect when a band uses words like bequeathed in their songs. So, yeah, great stuff. I love that. But second thing, I apologize if you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed a cut that I'm going to have to do in the middle of the song or my reaction. You may see me because an ad popped up like in the middle of the song. Like, come on. I hate when YouTube does that. They'll just drop an ad in the middle of a song or something sometimes. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But anywho, doing a song that's like this long and stuff can certainly be a very tricky endeavor. It is no easy feat to, keep a listener's attention or something for so long. When you're getting into 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes or more. I mean, some songs are longer than that even. It's just very, very difficult. I feel like to really keep a listener engaged and to keep a good flow throughout the song while keeping things changing enough to where again the listener's just really engaged. So yeah, it's always really, really tough. So I mean, it's tough to break down a song like this that's like this long and whatnot. So the first thing I will say is that all of the performances were astounding, like just excellent. I mean, the orchestrations are just phenomenal and magical and really, conjure visions of the fantasy magical world and all that good stuff. Just killer orchestrations and choirs and things like that. The guitar work also just insanely phenomenal. I mean, the riffs and stuff, the nice speedy tempo for most of the sections and stuff. The solos are just wow, wild. Just some high quality shredding going on. The drum work also was just killer. I mean, keeping the drums moving like throughout a whole song like this is wild, especially with the high tempo beats and all that stuff. And there's some really great fills and just amazing. And the bass as well was just killer. In particular, I love that one moment where the bass really gets to shine. A little bit of a bass solo is so groovy and so cool. And the vocals, I mean, what a voice. Like, good grief, the range is just nuts. Those screams, the high notes and everything else. I mean, just his voice is so suited for this style and it just works so well. And, all of the different elements, these folks just, it all just works together really well for that sound, for that just real kind of fantasy power metal style with the magic feel and whimsical adventurous sort of sound. It's just really cool and just super impressive. And it was really awesome. At the end they said that I guess this is the last single before they'll drop an album. I guess they're working on a full album, which is going to be quite the adventure, I can imagine. A full album of Questbound is just going to be wild. So with all of that out of the way, I feel like this song does suffer a bit from being too long. It feels like a lot of the same thing kind of throughout the whole song, instead of really evolving or anything. Everything just kind of keeps again, it just feels quite repetitious, but each time it's just has a little bit of a different sheen on it, like a little bit of a different it's just repackaged a smidge, but it still just kind of feels like it's the same. And so, my attention began to wane a little bit as I was listening to it. So it just didn't have really that dynamic quality, that evolved sort of structure or whatnot all the way throughout that kept me fully focused on it. I felt like I had to keep bringing my attention back, even while the orchestrations were like awesome and grand, or the guitar is like ripping, doing a cool solo. Things that you would think would just really demand your attention, but after you've like been listening to it for many minutes, and it just starts to feel like it's kind of the same thing, even though it's something extravagant. It still kind of loses its luster a bit, I guess, is the thing. So, and a lot of it too, I felt like it was very sectional, very section based. And so you'd have like a main section with like the ripping guitars and the soaring melodies and all that stuff. Then you'd have a little brief moment where the music dies down, and you hear a little bit of the orchestration, like doom, 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 like a little whimsical little interlude. And then it takes off again, and then you have that little section again of the little whimsical, softer moment, and that kind of takes off again. And, instead of just kind of separating it like so similarly every time, like I get that a song like this is definitely going to have like a down moment, but I feel like instead of just interspersing those little moments throughout, but then they did have a couple times where it was longer, but it could have, stayed more speedy and more energetic for longer, I think, and then have a more extended, softer section where you have the little whimsical orchestrations. Maybe the acoustic guitar pops in like it did at the end for the credits. And you hear like the fire crackling or something, and the vocals are a little bit more subdued or whatever, and you kind of have this more mellow section that's a bit longer, and then it kind of takes off a bit again, but it more of like an evolved state. It shifts a bit while still remaining true to the rest of the song, but doesn't feel like it's just rehashing it. And again, that's why I said doing a song like this for 10 plus minutes can be extraordinarily difficult to keep it feeling fresh all the way through. And here it just felt like, again, it was just kind of repurposing everything all the way throughout with a little bit of, differences here and there. Like, I really liked that one section where the music kind of died down and you hear like the person walking like in the grass and stuff, and you hear the wind blowing, and then you hear like the wings of that angel like figure or whatever. That was really cool, and I thought it was neat too that they didn't have like a spoken word section like a lot of these kind of long fantasy power metal songs will. They'll have kind of a spoken word, whether it's a narrator or it's dialogue between characters, and that's cool. Like, that's certainly cool. But here I thought it was really, really clever and crafty that they had that whole section of just kind of the sounds of nature and the environment, and then again the wings flapping of this angelic being. It was just really neat. It really kind of, instead of you focusing on some kind of dialogue or something, you're just focusing on the ambiance of the environment in these lands. And so cool. So cool. So I really heap a lot of praise on that section there. I thought it was really neat. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Moments like that in these sort of epic long songs that really keep the attention focused and really add something new to the song, but without taking you out of the song. So it's a very fine line for this sort of thing. So yeah, there were those elements that I really loved. I really liked the melodies of the vocals, and the lyrics and all that stuff was really good. And yeah, I mean, there were those certain moments that I really did like. But I do feel like the song does suffer a bit from repetition and from just not having enough of those like moments that I kind of mentioned woven in like in a longer capacity, and instead relying on just the high energy kind of sections with the soaring vocals and stuff that and then dropping in like a brief little soft moment that's like 10 seconds maybe, and then going back in and doing that again, and just relying too much on that, instead of having the song not split so much, but having different sections that are just longer and have more time to kind of set in, and more time to kind of carve out their own space in the song. I think that's the sort of thing that's really important. And then bring it all back to kind of how it started, but adding in some new elements and, something like that. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's easy for me to sit here, an armchair power metal listener, talking about how to craft a 10-minute long epic fantasy power metal song. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's one thing to say these things, and it's another to actually do it. So I don't intend to pretend to be anything that I'm not. It's just my thoughts, as said armchair power metal fan listening to the song. So highly, highly impressive. The performances were phenomenal. I do think that the songwriting, the song structure itself could use a little bit of work in this context here. So yeah, whew. Anywho, that's what I have to say about this. I'm really excited to hear that they're working on an album. And again, it's just always impressive to hear what these folks can create, and just the sheer quality of the production and the sound and all of that. It's something else. Anywho, gotta take a breath. Let me know, folks, in the comments down below, what do you think of this song here? How excited are you that they have now said that they're working on a full album? Let's talk about it all. I'll catch you next time. Ranger, out.